Lou, 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 Lou,
Brain.
Lou,
Brain.
Lou,
Brain.
Luke and the Screaming Brain.
All right. So you want to keep going, or do you want this to be part of the podcast? Then you can just cut it later and edit it to new next ones.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Just you got some behind the scenes there. That was Riley Cole, my friend Lucro. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting today. And I am Frank Dion, the screen coming to you from the 10th dimension.
Ooh, 10.
It's where everything happens and doesn't happen in the exact same moment, and it's really complicated. All right, enough of that foreplay. All right, all right. So topics of the day. First of all, biggie. Philip Seymour Hoffman died.
Yes, very sad.
A great actor.
He was pretty good.
Yeah,
I like.
Now, what freaks me out about his whole death isn't so much that he died, which is tragic, and there's not much people who are just like, it's not tragic. It's just more that his heroin issue has become a big issue of debate. Where do you stand on that? Do you care at all?
I don't give a fuck.
I really don't either. Like,
it's their personal life.
Yeah, it's their own life. I don't care if they're sacrificing babies. It's their business.
Yeah, it's like, you don't care what Joe on the street does. If he sells coke on the side, or Joe got grenades in his... Well, I guess you care if he's got grenades in his house, but...
No, you don't care until it actually affects you.
But either way...
And then if he's just lobbing him into the street, then you're going to start caring.
Why are we caring what famous people have?
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense. Get out.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to my computer screen. I'm sorry.
All right, so in regards to Philip Seymour Hoffman, I absolutely agree. If we're not giving a shit about Joe Blow, why should we give a shit what he's doing?
Yeah, the only reason why we care about him is because we've seen him in a movie like.
Yeah. Well, it's the kind of thing where he's done a lot of good work. So I think people are like, I think people who are really up in arms about it are more just kind of like taken aback. Like they're like, oh my god, really? And I'm sorry, you look at his movies, he always kind of looks like he's just coming off of heroin. He spent $10,000. I think it's either a week or a month on heroin. Like, he didn't buy him in little ounces. He bought him in bricks.
Jesus.
I know.
I applaud the man now. Holy crap.
A needle stuck in his arm. Like, that is an addiction that I'm just kind of like, you know what? Whatever, man. I'll applaud you for your commitment, I guess. But ultimately, yeah, when I found out, I was like, oh, sad day. We lost Philip Seymour Hoffman. Great actor. He was a heroin addict. Meh, I don't care.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same with people. I know my mom is like this when it comes to Axl Rose.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses. She absolutely hates him. And won't listen to Guns N' Roses because he did really stupid things, like he'd get drunk and piss on people on planes. It's like, who the fuck cares what he does? Outside, he makes good music. He's a good singer. We shouldn't give a fuck what he does outside of when he's singing.
Or you know what bugs me typically when it comes to when an actor dies young, or an actor or celebrity?
Yeah,
it's always the same thing. Oh my god, he was so young. Yeah, he did a lot of drugs. A lot. I'm not surprised he didn't die sooner. Do you ever understand it? When people are just so surprised and you're just like, look. I'm not saying I'm interested in his personal life, but if you read something, you know he wasn't exactly long for this world on his addiction alone.
Yeah. A lot of people they don't seem to. They're just like, oh, they look at the age and that's it.
Yeah.
And when it's somebody famous, forever because
valuable gods, literally, they're idols, and we worship them. And we're like, oh yeah, they're human. Get out of here! You're telling me that guy can get drunk and make a horrible racist statement? That's not the guy I started worshiping.
Yeah, we definitely put him on way too much of a pedestal.
I mean, they're just people doing their job like anyone else, so whatever.
Yeah.
If you got a vice, I'm not going to judge you on it. Just do your thing. I'll do my thing. We go on.
I watch the shit you make. You think I'm less than you?
You spit on me if I'm walking down the street.
Yeah, it's all good. We live a happy mutual relationship.
All right. So, with that out of the way, I totally thought that was going to be a much longer talk, but apparently we both agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
For once.
All right. So, mailbag?
Huh?
Mailbag? Check the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anything today?
Mailbag.
Mail!
We have mail.
All right. This one is from Jamie.
Who is not in the room right now.
At all. All right. So, I don't know what this is in regards to. Apparently, we were talking about Hitler. So, it goes, hey, dumb bums. Oh, she was nice. She could have been like dumbasses. So, I'll take the positive of that. Hitler's dog, Blondie, was a German Shepherd, not a Golden Retriever. I didn't know that, honestly.
I did, because we had this conversation.
Just randomly, you two are just sitting there, you know, as a fact of trivia. You didn't know Hitler's dogs were German Shepherds? And you're like, really? I thought they would have been Dobermans.
I can't remember how we got on the conversation, but we were just talking about Hitler in general, and then like about...
Oh, one of those classic Hitler talks.
Just like Ava, Hitler, like the dogs and stuff.
You get into his whole, you know, cultist past. And
I can't remember
endeavors.
If we might have.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. Like there's a lot in history that you don't bother searching up, but honestly, like, there's some cool shit with
He was a
Hitler.
painter.
Yeah! I heard he could paint an entire living room.
Yeah.
In one afternoon. 2 coats.
Not that kind of painter.
Oh, well, that's more impressive,
He's
I guess.
an artist painter. I'm sure anyone could paint their living room.
2 coats in one day? Oh, you're crazy, my friend.
No. No, he was an actual artist painter.
Yeah.
Like, he did murals and stuff.
Yeah. I think his middle name was Elizabeth.
I don't know his middle name, so it very well could have been.
I don't know.
He's a Jew.
I'm just quoting things I've heard from the producers.
Oh. I don't think you can use that as a viable quote.
No, that man was all up Hitler's ass, so he knew inside and out.
Oh.
For God's sakes, he's saying.
Were you talking about Will Ferrell's character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got a Hitler fanatic inside a movie. You want to make sure his shit is accurate.
I guess it very well could have been.
All right. Well, there ends the mailbags. Apparently, we're dumb bums, and Hitler's dog was a German Shepherd. So stick that pipe.
Huh? Stick that pipe.
Yeah, I know my brain just stopped. Forget my point. Let's move on. All right. So. You know what? I watched a couple of movies last weekend, so I wouldn't mind reviewing those if you're up for it.
Go for it.
Alright, first off we have That Awkward Moment starring Zac Efron and a bunch of other nobodies no one's ever heard of.
Sounds good already.
This movie, honestly, it's alright. Like, it's for a certain crowd. Honestly, I was not intrigued by it. The characters were mildly interesting, but overall, the plot is weighed, and if the jokes don't land with you, it's easy to just walk out of this one. I'd go 2.5.
Out of 5?
Out of 5, yeah. That's my ranking system.
Okay.
And second movie I watched this weekend. Oh, wow. What was it?
I, Frankenstein.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm keeping on top of
Thank
this.
you. Yeah. Keep me on the straight and narrow. All right, I, Frankenstein. Admittedly, it's not gonna grab everyone the right way.
No.
Well, the thing about like these kind of movies is like Underworld and all that. They're melodramas, and melodramas they have to be, the characters are big, and it's all kind of like ridiculous, and everyone's playing it committed to the role, but they're not playing it like as serious as people would want, so it's gonna come off as like kind of cheap and fake. But honestly, like I really enjoyed this movie. I thought Aaron Eckhart did a fantastic job with the character of Frankenstein. The character connections were all very interesting. They did gargoyles in a way I've seen before, but it was new and nice to see on there. Demons, they had this great transformation. They're led by Bill Nye, and oh my god!
Wait, what?
Bill Nye, not Nye, like not the scientist.
Okay, not
Nye.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Bill.
Okay, not him.
No. It's a British guy from
Okay.
Underworld.
They used, for the same style of movie, they used a character from the biggest in that genre.
I wouldn't say he was the biggest. He was,
No, but I mean like the biggest movie in the genre. Underworld.
Yeah, I guess. Like, that's the thing. Like,
That
that
seems-
was vampires and werewolves, but it's kind of...
It would fall under the same.
It's kind of when they made Lone Ranger. It was kind of you kind of had the same aspects of like Pirates of the Caribbean. So honestly, I really enjoyed the Underworld series. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought the action was really well done, and the effects were pretty good, and the score is actually very good. Like, I would easily recommend this, but in terms of quality, I would still go maybe 3.5.
So like, if somebody like, let's say I really like Underworld.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna like it, at least like it a little bit.
Well, that's a question you got to ask yourself. Can you buy into a world where Frankenstein is put into the middle of a battle between gargoyles and demons?
It depends. Like, are we talking like old original Frankenstein, or are we talking like
This
newer?
is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but it's not like bolts in the neck and like a movie monster Frankenstein. It's more like a... You remember Robert De Niro's Frankenstein? It's called Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Had Robert De Niro and Kenneth Branagh and Helen Bonham Carter. Basically, he just plays it as man. It's not like the Frankenstein where he's all like Boris Karloff about it. And he's just
okay.
Like, me Frankenstein. No, it's a character. Because what happens in the movie is basically they give you the origin of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And then they deal with the death of the creator.
Yeah.
And just for those wondering, they do address the idea that he is not really Frankenstein, that he doesn't have a name, and they give him a name, and then he takes a different name. So it's actually really cool because it's actually like a character growth kind of thing.
Okay, I got you.
So when it was called Frankenstein's monster, and then as a little nod, the gargoyles name him Adam.
Okay, so yeah, I could buy into that.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
Yeah, I would easily recommend it. At full price of like $20, IMAX 3D bullshit.
Yeah.
I would easily, like, if you want to watch this, a nice matinee or a DVD rental.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not that there is much of DVD rentals anymore, but I'm sure.
Come on, there's still the red box. Oh, guess what?
Yeah.
I read this earlier. It's really cool. Blockbuster lives on.
What?
Yep, Mexico. They found their audience.
The Mexicans are too cheap to buy Netflix.
I don't care as long as the stores live on. I'm fine with that. I used to love for going to rent a store, like rent at a store. Yeah. I think that's something kids nowadays don't get the feeling of.
Yeah, I was
the idea of like waiting.
Yeah, I was a messenger at Movie Gallery here in our nice small town of Leduc before it closed down. And I enjoyed talking to people about the new movies coming out onto DVD and stuff.
And God, the perk of actually being able to rent a movie before it came out.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. Like,
yeah.
Every week they'd be like, well, we want you to research these, so watch these movies. They come out this week. And I'd be like, no problem.
Yeah.
Rent all 5 movies, watch them that night, and just be like, God, I love 3 of those. 2 of them were kind of shit.
Wow. Except for when I was there, it was like movies that were coming out while I was working where it was in that stage of doing the remakes.
Oh God, yeah, with the was that during the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, it was like right around that time.
I really enjoyed the Friday the 13th remake. The Nightmare on Elm Street was good.
That actually, I'm the opposite way. I thought Friday the 13th was okay. It was good, but the was the best in my opinion.
Well, my problem with the Elm Street one is you have a world of dreams that really worked in the original, and I don't want to be that guy who compares it to the originals, but what really worked in terms of that is just the idea that you didn't know you were in a dream until it was too late. They shot it so realistically, and they have little elements of dreaming, which is cool. Whereas in this other one, and I think it's because I'm a lucid dreamer.
Yeah.
That when I see something kind of my dream, I go, I'm in a dream. In this one, they were in a situation where they'd be in class and suddenly all the class and he'd be at the board. And as a lucid dreamer, I'd just be like, "Huh, this is a dream. All right," and control the dream.
But the problem,
Dream Warrior style.
But the problem with that though was that Or if he can control the dream, then he can make it so that you're not lucid dreaming. That he's just putting you right into it without you knowing.
Yeah. But, that's the whole thing behind, Dream Warriors. You can train yourself to be in control.
Yeah, that's true. Well, especially if we're going, Inception and shit.
Well, even beyond that, if you're going to go with, this is a dream world, go for the gusto, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're going to go for it, I say, make it big, make it weird, keep him frightening, but you can throw him inside these warped worlds where, things are, grotesque or...
That's what. You know what? I kind of have a feeling they are going to venture into that, though. Because every movie, it seems like they get just a little bit more out there every time with Elm Street.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't mind, a sequel to it, but the problem is, it didn't do good enough to get a sequel, like the Friday the 13th one. And that's a problem, right? If you're starting out in a remake, you have to make it great.
Yeah.
If you start off good, you're not going to get enough people to come in. Like how I feel the RoboCop's going to go. Or how Total Recall went.
Yeah.
They are good movies in their own right. The problem is, they weren't good enough to help people forget about the other ones.
Yeah.
So, you got a situation where literally you got the original fans going oh, it was crap. And because it's the huge emotional response. But instead of just going well, let's look at the film on its own. You look at it as its own thing, and you go, "Oh, well, it's a good film."
Yeah, that's true. It's harder for the remake because they do have to break that line of being a remake.
You either have to be so faithful that it's scary, or so different that it's absolutely something completely new.
Yeah.
You can't hit that middle ground of just live the same, stealing elements, and which kind of bugs me, but at the same time, I understand. It's kind of what do you call it? The Charlie and the Chocolate versus Willy Wonka. I love both films. I prefer Charlie and the Chocolate Factory just because I I know it's based off a children's book, and I know it's weird and goofy, and the room's actually edible, and the Willy Wonka in that one is he looks crazy. He looks like a guy you'd protect your children. You know what I mean? But when you have Gene Wilder's, you're just kind of oh, he's just the goofy guy, which. I know to bring this in a further tangent. This is a theory that's been roaming around. Willy Wonka and the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a serial killer.
Well, okay.
Stay with me here.
Okay, I'll try.
All his machines that they ride on have just enough seats for him and all the contestants.
Yeah.
So the first one is the boat, and it has enough for him but not Augustus Gloop or his mom.
Oh.
And then the next one, they lose another seat.
Yeah,
the next one, which means he purposely planned for each kid to die accordingly. He knew Augustus Gloop loved chocolate. He made a chocolate river.
Yeah.
You know, Veruca,
well, they didn't die.
How do we know that? They never show him living.
It's
not like the Tim Burton one where they show him walking out. They're kind of weird.
I guess.
And that kind of freaked. And then you have other moments where, he tried to kill Charlie and the grandpa by them drinking the fizzy lifted drink and built the fan with no way to stop.
But he told them not to go into the room.
Just because the river too. Just because you tell somebody not to do anything doesn't mean you don't want them to do it.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah. Don't look down. You always look down. Don't read that. You always read it. Don't look up. Stop looking at your balls. Ha-ha! We failed.
Oh.
Ha-ha! You looked away. There you go.
You got me there.
Alright. But yeah, ultimately that's a theory that's been flowing around. I honestly support it, and it kind of creeps me out. And let's just push it one step further. That whole tunnel scene where he's all and the rowers won't stop rowing. What the hell is that scene for? It's a nice bit of creepiness, but it really serves nothing. You're just kind of look, I already knew who this guy was unhinged. He was killing children before. So you don't have to show me this scene. It just gets more intense, and it's on the wall. People die, people dead. I wouldn't be surprised. If in one of the deleted scenes, there's a swastika, and you see Hitler on the wall. Just Man being torn apart by like 4 horses.
You got like blood writing on the walls. Don't listen to him.
He's a madman. A madman. With Johnny Depp, he looks crazy, and you can tell he kind of is, but he has a childlike wonder where he's not gonna actually hurt anyone because he's all like, they watch him and he's just like, "You okay?" And he's like, "I was having a flashback." Yeah,
I love Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka.
I did too. I really enjoyed it. And this is not to take anything away from Gene Wilder. I absolutely love that version.
Yeah.
I'm just saying which I prefer, but I liked it. I liked Johnny Depp's performance. It was so different. It was so like, it just felt like something torn from a book.
Yeah, like Johnny Depp, those pull off, and like it doesn't matter how many times he does it. Every time, it's fucking amazing.
Here's a question for you: do you think he did that specifically because it's Johnny Depp and he does that kind of thing, or possibly was pushed a bit more like that only because of Gene Wilder's performance in Whistler? People would have reacted more adverse to his performance.
I think what probably would have been, most of it would have been because it's Johnny Depp and that's just how he gets in that kind of role. But Tim Burton probably pulled him off to the side and was like, "Hey, we different, okay? Like you can't be like Gene Wilder."
Yeah.
So that probably caused him.
You knocked that shit off. I saw you practicing it. That's why I took Sweeney Todd, wasn't it?
Hey, did you know that while we mentioned singing and Johnny Depp, did you know that he was a singer in a band?
Yes, he is.
In his high school band, I believe it was.
Yeah. He also played the guitar.
Yeah.
He was doing that right before he did Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Okay, yeah. That would have been about right for timing, yeah.
He was doing that, and then he wasn't making too much money, so he tried his hand at acting and got the part.
And now we're like, ooh, yeah. Johnny Depp.
Do you know he would have what do you call it? Wes Craven's New Nightmare. He actually said he would have returned.
Wow, that would have been cool.
Yeah, but they kind of help it out where they have like in Freddy's Dead, he returns anyway. You know that little scene where they're frying eggs? Yeah, and they're like, this is your brain on drugs. And he's like, looks like a couple of scrambled eggs to me.
While we're another little fun fact, I have a few of these.
Just so you know, this next little bit is gonna be sucking Johnny Depp's dick. So if you don't like that, just tune out a little bit.
He lives on an island, right?
He's got an island.
He does not own a cell phone.
Oh, yeah, I've heard he's completely almost.
Well, it's not that he keeps himself like away from communication. He just does not believe in non-face-to-face. He doesn't have a computer. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a cell phone landline. It actually has to fly to him to tell him about a new role.
Tim, when he gets the door.
Yeah. Or pulls his pants down, bends over, and then says, "First this, then yes" to whatever you're about to say.
Tim Burton or Johnny Depp?
I would imagine Johnny Depp bends down. He's more female of the two.
I don't know.
Tim Burton's got he's kind of like manly looking, kind of.
Well, we said Nick Cage could play him, so no manlier man than Nick Cage.
But yeah, I just imagine Johnny Depp taking it in the butt, like, "Please give me more, sir, please."
While we're at it, I had an idea for that role we want to be for. Get out of here, kids! Daddy's working. We know. We know.
Okay, so I think that tangent was off of your review of I Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those reviews, I Frankenstein, easily go watch a nice matinee or DVD if you're not into that. As for that awkward moment, honestly, for me personally, I would watch it like on late night cable. It's on for free. You had nothing else better to do.
Or if you're a tweenie.
No.
Not even if you're like one of those 16-year-old girls.
No, he's a dick.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Not even in the lovable asshole kind of dick. He's just a dick.
Oh. Okay.
Literally, their audience is so
what would for the audience be? What would you say for the audience for that?
I don't know. Like, I know my 16-year-old brother kind of liked it, so I guess that would be it. It's kind of like that movie, like, you know, when you're young and you see somebody acting like a douchebag.
I want to be like that.
Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of.
So, like, late teens.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, you go 13 to 16 year old boys. Maybe a few girls who are just like,
because
I could change him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could change him. Look at him.
Okay, cool. So, I guess for my review, I'm just gonna do one, and it's gonna be for video games.
Awesome.
This week I got back into playing Monster Hunter again, so we're gonna talk a little bit about Monster Hunter. Yay! Woo! It's PlayStation / Nintendo, like, as a Capcom made game, so you already know that's gonna be pretty good just from that, because Capcom almost rarely makes completely bad games. So Monster Hunter, it started out on the PS2 as an MMO. The basic rundown for play is, you're in, like, old, like,
Well, first discuss what kind of gameplay is it. Is it a role-playing game?
Well, it is. I guess technically you could consider it an RPG, but it's like I would consider it a rank and slash.
Oh, okay.
It's very unique.
You know, when I first heard role-playing game, well, my friend said it's an RPG, and I'll be honest, I thought rocket propelled grenade. But
like an RPG.
And so it wasn't. And then when I was playing it, like, when I think RPG, I know it sounds stupid, but I think of, like, I think basically most games that are like third-person viewer.
Yeah, that's what most people.
It's not a situation where it's like, all right, here's your choices, and it'll be like A, B, and X. Yeah. I'm just used to being like, all right, here's a guy. What are you gonna do? And you just beat him to death without having to, like, stop and think about what you're doing.
And that's RPG, like, that's kind of like how it started, but because it's such, like, RPG, the best way to, like, anything that has a leveling up system where you can change the outcome, like, of how your character works. Yeah, that's RPG.
Oh, okay.
Because that's role playing. That's you deciding how your character is going to be.
So it's a thing where basically your actions have consequences, and it's not a single storyline.
Well, they could even be a single storyline. Like Pokemon is a single storyline, but that's an RPG.
Alright.
But because it has leveling up system, like, all the Pokemon that you want, and you like you build your team however you want. That makes it role playing, because you're playing it as if this was you in this world, how you would do it.
Yeah.
But they keep you to a linear story.
Okay.
So there's a couple ways of doing that.
All right.
Doing RPGs. So
back to your review. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So you go with it. You kill monsters.
Dump it down for me a little more.
You kill monsters to make gear out of the monsters, weapons, armor, and then once you get that, you build bigger monsters, and then you kill those bigger monsters to make their weapons and gear to kill even bigger and harder monsters.
When we say kill monsters, is it a gradual system of growth, or is it a situation where it's like you kill this size monster and it's like, say, the size of a thimble?
Yeah.
Then next it's like the size of a small dog. Then next it's like the size of a horse. Then next it's like the size of an elephant. Then you're fighting a blue whale. Then after that the kraken. Then after that something that doesn't even fit on Earth.
Well, I'll quickly go with this. So my first Monster Hunter game was Portable 2 for the PSP. And the first kind of like mini monster you fight, they're called Bullfangos. They're basically like hogs, and they're about the size of like a wild boar.
Would you say a wild hog?
Yes. And then the monster that you fight right after dealing with those is the Bulldrome, which is just a giant version of that.
Oh.
Like elephant-sized version. Well, not quite elephant. Okay, I don't know, somewhere between
hippo?
The size. Yeah. That would be a good size, right. About hippo-sized. And then the next one up from that is a Congolala, it's a monkey the size of an elephant. And then after that, then you're getting into dragons and wyverns and shit.
Oh, nice.
So it perpetuates pretty big, and then like the biggest one in that game was a Leo, and that thing was probably, I think, 30.
Like, all I saw was feet, man.
Oh yeah. Like when you're playing, like you have to like change your view camera to be able to see its head and shit. It's like 36,000 feet or something.
Is it like fighting a monster from Shadow of Colossus?
Yeah. The Leo about that size.
Speaking, just tangent here. How fucking awesome is that game?
It's good. I love that game.
I love Shadow of the Colossus.
That's really good.
I was so sad when I found out they weren't doing Shadow of Colossus 2 for PS3.
Yeah, well, they might do it for the PS4 though.
I would be happy. I would buy PS4 if
yeah.
Simply because I love that. It's Zelda without all the finding the shit.
Yeah.
You literally just go find a monster, and what I loved was they're like, well, we're gonna do a multiplayer. You and your friends can get together and take down this beast. I was like, that. Oh my god, that is awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a really good game. I
Right.
gotta replay it one of these times. But okay, so yeah, that's the basic premise of the game, and like it's really unique. Like the way that you build your armors, and like you can gem your armors to like give it different attributes to like change how you want to do your play style, and like you have different weapon types to like if you like to beat things down with a giant ass sword that's like 3 times the size of you can, or if you want to use like a little sword and shield, you can. And then you like build your attributes around that, and like you can make your character solely how you would like to play if you were in that world.
Nice.
And it's completely customizable for that kind of stuff within reason, of course.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I'm going to say is, if anybody wants to comment, I want to know what game you started on, if you were a big Monster Hunter player, and
even if you're not, just take a wild stab.
yep, and what monster that got you?
All right.
Because this game has probably the hardest learning curve.
Nice.
Like it goes from, okay, yeah, I'm gathering special mushrooms, to, oh my god, this is the hardest fucking game ever.
I wish you had the special mushrooms in, right? Just start chowing them down. You know what? This isn't so bad.
But other than that, it's like I rate it as far as any RPG goes. I'm going with like 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
For any of the Monster Hunters.
All
I
right.
love them all.
Yeah.
And if anybody's Wii U or a 3DS, go pick up the new Monster Hunter. They just dropped the price. It's only $30 fucking bucks.
Oh,
for
nice.
a massive multiplayer online. Now, granted, the 3DS version isn't online. It's only the Wii U, and that was a bit of a fuck up on their part, but it's still really fun either way.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I say if you have a Wii U, I'm not going to say if you haven't played Monster Hunter, go out, buy a Wii U and buy the game, but if you already have the Wii U, go spend the $30 on Monster Hunter. You will enjoy it for at least 100 hours easy, no problem.
Sweet. Well, those are the recommendations for this week. I, Frankenstein, and Monster Hunter.
Yep.
Awesome. Alright, well, we're halfway through the show. You know what that means? Time for Hatred Corner!
Woo!
Alright, well, you seem to hate a lot more stuff than I do, so take it away.
Okay, so I believe it was yesterday at work in one of our lunchroom conversations. We were talking about Roger Rabbit.
Ah, classic.
And somebody hated it.
Yeah.
And when we and then like throughout the discussion, we were talking, this person has never seen it.
What?
So we can kind of like pretty like what the fuck.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing. Like I'm fine with you hating something. Like that's personal opinion. That happens. But it's hard to hate something you've never seen. Hate a trailer, sure, I can get. But there's so many trailers that sell a movie completely wrong. Look at something like Drive.
Yeah.
Sold exactly like Fast and the Furious was nothing like that. It's a fantastic movie. I'm not saying Fast and Furious franchise sucks. I'm just saying, like, the movie they sold is not the movie that it was. Lucky Number 11, exact same way.
I hated that movie.
But the trailer sold it differently than it actually was, is my point.
Yeah. You're
and
right,
again,
yeah.
like,
the trailer made me want to see the movie.
I really enjoyed the movie myself. I like Josh. It's a movie that got me to like Josh Hartnett, and be with Bruce Willis.
Mm.
But even though you don't like the movie, you gotta admit, Morgan Freeman and Kingsley did fantastic jobs in their roles.
Yeah,
And that whole scene at the end where, they're having that little face-off, I was like, that is one of the acting scenes I've seen in the last couple of months.
I barely remember it, but I remembered like that was Morgan Freeman, and like I remember enjoying whenever he was on screen.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing.
Then,
those guys own their scenes, and I can understand like it's a weird kind of thing. It's like Guy Ritchie films, like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch. If you can't, it's meant for a crowd.
Yeah.
And apparently that was not your crowd, but yeah, it's like that's the thing. Like beyond just like hating, like I understand you can hate a trailer, but beyond that, even with the trailer hate, the amount of good word of mouth on this film, even if I hate a trailer, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like, and that's the thing. Like this isn't a kind of popped in and kind of did modestly well. Right, one of those movies that is a staple in the movie community. Why? It brought animation to a point where we could believe these people interacted with these characters.
Yeah, with actual like 2D animations.
Yeah. And like that's the thing, like they did a 2D animation and then they would have another person who'd go over it and make it look like it was actually in the 3D world.
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing. And you got a villain that honestly, like one of the best villains ever created. That guy is creepy, he's menacing. Christopher Lloyd did a fantastic job with that role. You have great comedy coming out of Roger Rabbit. Like that opening, what is it, 5 minutes where it's just his cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
It made me want to see more Roger Rabbit.
Oh, I know.
And the beauty of it, they made five other short cartoons.
That's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, this for me, like as much as I was not a fan of this person saying this at work about Roger Rabbit, that's the small. Me being such a big anime nerd,
yeah,
and like I'll be talking to people like, okay, what's your interest? And I say, oh, I'm really big into anime. I hate it. Okay, like you hate the whole genre. Why do you hate the whole genre? Oh, it's really fucking nerdy and like it produced like Powerpuff Girls and stuff. Like, hold on a fucking second now, good sir.
That's anime influenced.
Yeah,
is about as much as you can really say for that. Like it's not.
There is a Japanese version of Powerpuffs that came out first, and then the Americans made their version. But
so again, influence.
Yeah, it's the anime influence. Not only that though, but the only anime that if you've seen anime, you're introduced on TV was Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Death Note.
And that's the real problem. Is like there's so many different genres of anime. It's become its own kind of like industry. Like with a horror movie, with the horror films, you got three basic types. You got your paranormal.
Yeah.
With anime, you literally have an entire. I watched an anime about a little girl who was just trying to go through the day at her high school. That was it.
And high school club.
Might have been. God, I think it was like called Watashi. Was the short version of it. It's a little girl. She's really good at like these love games.
Oh, okay.
And then but she can't talk to real actually friends.
Mm.
And it's such a good little anime.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I understand. Like there are people who just like I can't stand it over like that over animated style of reaction where. If somebody's surprised, they have like these big eyes. They're just like, oh.
Well, there's different styles too.
Exactly.
There's like. I have so many posters in my room right now that don't have those emotions. Yeah. Black Rock Shooter, like there's fucking think of you if I'm not being stupid right now.
Yeah. What is the thing like look at something like what is it Renshi?
Wrench. Oh yeah.
Like you look at the anime style of that, it is you can tell it is not meant for like the 13-year-old audience.
Oh yeah, no, it's completely for adults.
Yeah. My favorite shows is like Is This a Zombie?
Yeah.
Which, it is that kind of anime style where it's overreactions and people saying like weird stuff and like stock characters. Yeah. But, even with those, you have intrigue.
And yeah, and it's like, and when I talk to these people, like, I grit my teeth, and then I say, okay, you know what? If
you give them a shake, you're like, all right, let me hear your point first.
Yeah, and then I say, you know what? I guarantee you, I could find one anime that you will like, and then they're like, no, I won't even attempt it. Blah 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 blah. It's like I listen to you anime, and you're completely false about it, and you won't even listen to me. Fair shot.
Yeah, it's just it's infuriating. Like I'll hop on his hatred for this week because I really had nothing, but that annoys me beyond no end. Like, and you can extend that beyond anime.
Yeah.
Like it's comes down to like genres of film. I know people who like they hate westerns. I'm personally not a fan of westerns, but there are certain like movies that are westerns that I enjoy. Like, you know, you have your what is that? True Grit. I really enjoy the remake. I enjoyed Maverick.
I didn't really like that one, but okay, yeah.
I enjoy like even like something like Shanghai Noon. I enjoy.
Yeah.
You got stuff like Tombstone or what is it? I think it's like Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah.
Like you got these interesting. You have these interesting movies inside this genre. The problem is with hating a genre is you don't give any of the actual movies that you might like a chance. And
yeah, that's just something that's it really pisses me off.
Like that's the thing. If you're gonna hate on something, hate on us. I'm a very big fan of hate on specifics.
Yeah.
If you hate a movie, tell me why you hate it. I will be fair. I'll listen to somebody hate a movie for specific reasons. They're like, "Well, I didn't enjoy this character," and they'll list something like, "They had an annoying voice." I can't defend against that. Yeah, they might have had an annoying voice to you.
Yeah. And that can make or break. Like, that's the reason why I don't watch a lot of the animes I don't watch, is because of the voices.
Like, and that's the thing. You need it could be a specific choice of theirs that works really well for the character, but it's not pleasant to your ears.
Yeah.
Or like that's the thing. Like if you're gonna hate something for a good reason. Don't hate it just because you hate it. That's the kind of excuse. I'm just like, what? No, hate it for a reason. Give me anything.
There could be like I will be slightly less to the point. Whereas if you don't like a movie and then I ask why, and then you say honestly I cannot put a finger, but when I was watching it I just could not. Whatever. Okay. If you watch the whole thing and the whole way through you just couldn't get into it and you don't know why, that's fair enough for me.
Okay.
You watched the whole thing. That's fine. Yeah. But if you turned it off after 5 minutes saying I don't know why, then that's a problem.
Yeah. Much like you did with that one anime.
But I have reasons. It wasn't...
You had reasons the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I had a list of reasons within the first 5 minutes. It was just I couldn't put my finger on it. No, I hated every little second about that anime. So
you know what kind of bugs me? When you say you hate something and somebody will try and explain it to you, why it made sense, and you're like, no, I understand why it made sense for that thing. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Like give me a little bit more precise example.
Let's go with the Dark Knight Rises, because I've talked about Man of Steel to death with a bunch of people. The Dark Knight Rises, I hate like very specific things. I don't care for Bane's voice. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the high tenor of it was just kind of ridiculous and non-threatening. And then people will be like, no, and then they'll explain that to me. Ledger's Joker. A lot of people love that Joker. I don't. I really don't like that Joker. And it's more because I like a Joker who's a psychopath, but also a showman about it.
But you like how well he did it. You just don't like. Wait.
The best way to put this is I appreciate the performance.
Like
I think it's a great performance.
He did a good job on what the Joker was meant to be in that movie.
Yeah, in that universe, it made sense. Everything, I understand why he did it. I understand his choices. I understand his color palette. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, and for me, it's because when I read the Joker, I'm more familiar. I'm more liking of the Joker who is a showman, who is a psychopath, who could shake your hand one moment or stab you.
Yeah.
Offer you $1 million or throw acid in your face. Well, that's the Joker I love, and I like the Joker who's a Joker all the time. He can't just take off his makeup. It is him. Mm-hmm. The Joker is that. So, like I said, I understand things. Like, it's not a situation where I'm just like, I did not understand that, so I don't like it. It's a situation where I understand it, but I don't like it because these are the things I prefer to have seen.
Okay, yeah.
And that bugs me. And I'm guilty of doing that too. But the problem is when I do it, it's typically because people will ask me, well, why this? And why did they do this?
Yeah.
And then you explain, they're like, oh, well, I still don't like it. I'm like, that's fine, but you understand it now, right?
Yeah. Like, well, when they ask why, you have to explain. But yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. Like, there's if you have to go and explain why you should like it.
Yeah.
That's stupid. No, because I already explained why I don't like it. You can't tell me to like something I don't like.
Yeah, you think explaining something a little more is gonna get me to like it?
Like, yeah, well, no, I fucking understand. I don't like it.
It's like what do you call it? Avatar, District 9.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. I don't like those movies.
Neither do I.
And like a lot of people will tell me, well, you just don't get it. I'm like, no, I get it. District 9 specifically, it's an immigration kind of story. It's literally racism told through aliens. That's fine. I've seen that story 1,000 times. And then you have this situation where the movie keeps jumping. It doesn't know if it's a documentary or an action film or, a father and son film told from the aliens' perspective.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of cool, but just the disjointedness of it, and like just the fact that I've seen that story a lot of times, it bored me. But I still thought, okay, well, even with all that said, still a good movie.
Yeah.
And then with Avatar, I've said something to most people which they agree with, but they still kind of give me crap about, is Avatar, the decent movie with fantastic visuals.
And for me, it was a shitty movie with a fantastic visuals.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, the characters had lots of motivation, so I understand that. So technically, that's good. The music is good. The visuals are fantastic, but the bulk of the movie is just okay.
Yeah.
But it's getting more credit than it deserves, and
because it was first of its type.
Yeah. It's sort of like and that's the thing. Like when they do some element so fantastic, we're so used to crap, or it's decent, because people don't know. Honestly, there's very few movies that are pure crap to me.
Yeah.
Like my movie, which
Lucky
is
Number 11 was that was just pure crap to me.
I disagree. That is at least a movie where you have a few great performances.
I guess
some mildly good jokes. The logic, the story itself made sense in its within its contours. I'm talking about those kind of movies like Scary Movie 5.
Oh, okay.
Where you have the money, you have the actors, you have a script, but you do everything just with just like throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. Whereas there are some films like even like Troll 2, which is voted one of the best bad movies, or even Manos Hands of Fate, where at least the artists making it were trying. When you're not trying, you can see it. You can see it on the film, and nothing about it is redeeming. It's almost infuriating how like bad it is.
Yeah.
Because so bad it's good is still good. It's just not technically good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess, that's kind of hard to come across. Quarter to a...
you know what they say about beating off in a dead horse's mouth?
It's good for everyone.
Yeah, everyone wins. No, that's crying.
Yeah, I can't think of who would complain about that. The horse? No, it's fucking dead.
And even a horse didn't complain in life. How do you think it died? Choked on the cum.
Do we have a Frank's random thought?
Oh, all right. You know what? Come back to me after we just the new idea you brought up.
Yes. I'm really big into anime. You're really big into superheroes.
Yep. That I can't deny.
Let's pit a superhero against an anime character up into a fight. We'll discuss why we think who would win.
All right. I think we should have a few ground rules.
Yes.
One, if we have to decide. We'll list a genre of character. So detective. You got You got detective, you got superhero, you got anti-hero.
Yeah.
You got godlike creatures. But we keep like the real big godlike creatures off the like we can't go with like Superman versus say I don't know.
Well, Goku, because not only that, but it's already been done.
Yeah, or a situation where you literally like or it's a character with godlike powers like Light.
Yeah.
Because the Light can literally, no matter how powerful you're going up against somebody, just be like, Superman dies, and Superman just falls out of the sky with a heart attack.
Yeah.
Because he's affected by magic.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so no just flat out guards. This person's nothing that's gonna be like this person's gonna flat out win.
Yeah, it's got to be a equal match.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, technically, if we're speaking before Light has a chance to write that, Superman could just be like dead.
Yeah.
But
So either way, though, like one's just gonna flat out kill the other one in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. It's a situation where that has to happen.
Yeah. So, I've got one in mind.
All right.
Do you have one in mind?
Well, give me your what genre is he? Is he a detective? Is he a gunfighter? Is he?
He's a fighter, and he has magical powers with that.
Magical powers. All right.
That that he uses like his own body to use the powers.
All right.
It's not like fireballs or anything. It's like him just using his fists.
No, I get that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay. So what superhero did you choose?
Wolverine.
Oh, wow, this is gonna be an interesting one.
All right. Your choice is?
Monkey D. Luffy.
I'm not familiar, so break him down to our less than geeky audience.
So, Monkey D. Luffy, the Straw Hat Pirate.
One Piece, I'm assuming. All right.
Yeah, One Piece. Hat Pirates. He has the power of the devil fruit, called the Gum Gum fruit.
Ah.
His body and everything about him is elastic.
Oh, wow.
So bullets just hit him and then bounce away.
Like they deflect and kill the innocent bystanders who happen to be by?
Well, he can kind of like he when the bullets hit, they like suck in.
Oh, he's
and then
kind of like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
All
exactly. Right. He's basically a Mr. Fantastic.
I wish I would have known this. I would have chosen Mr. Fantastic. It would have been.
It would have been a very stalemate.
All right, keep going.
He cannot swim though. That's the thing. A devil fruit power to user not be able to swim.
All right.
So they just drop like a rock.
So like Stitch.
Yeah, but not only that though is he'll drop like a rock. But you would think, okay, that's fine. He has stretchy arms. He can just like grab onto the boat and pull himself back up. He's like completely fatigued in water.
So he's Bruce Willis from Unbreakable.
Sure.
Bruce Willis in Unbreakable. The minute you throw him in water, he starts drowning.
Yeah, like there's absolutely nothing he can do except for hold his breath. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Those are your qualifications, and
yeah.
Right.
So explain Wolverine.
For those who don't know, the awesome Canuck. That's something most Americans forget. Wolverine, Canadian. So already a bonus point.
But he throws away his Canadian status like immediately.
I don't care.
Like,
He's
he
Canadian.
doesn't consider himself Canadian.
I don't care. You are where you're born. All right.
Tell that to fucking
part of the Weapon X program. He had an operation, and they gave him it skeletal structure adamantium.
Yeah.
Like coated in adamantium, but not the point where he can't move obviously. It's just on the actual bones and not the joints.
Yeah, it's just.
And his mutant power is healing.
Yeah.
But
and the claws.
Much like your guy, he can't swim very well. It's the adamantium, drags him right down.
Yeah, that's true. That would be true.
All right.
So
how do you want to do this? Like, do you just want to discuss the points of like if they got into battle? Where are they battling?
So let's look mutually beneficial, like an area that'd be mutually beneficial to these guys.
Pirate ship, middle of the sea.
A pirate ship, middle of the sea. Okay, okay.
Well, you think about it. You got both high land, low land. You got
their danger zone, which is the water. Okay, and that's where Luffy does most of his fights on a pirate ship, so he's really comfortable there. But at the same time, it's like death trap for him.
All right, so you got Wolverine, who, let's say he was captured by these guys.
Okay.
He wakes up and he's all like, ugh. He like scratches out one of the doors and bursts through, and there's
Monkey D.
And immediately Claws come out. What am I doing here, bub?
I think the first thing Monkey D. Luffy is going to say to that is, "We captured you."
And then Wolverine, not being one for words, and he runs after him and starts swinging his claws.
Monkey D. Luffy would be like, kind of like, "Whoa, what's going on?" He'd be like dodging, like by like using his elasticity to move his bodily claws.
Wolverine keeps slashing harder and harder. I imagine eventually, I have to imagine he would pin him in some way. Maybe go for to dodge that if he swings and then goes straight down to the foot.
Yeah.
Foot.
This has happened a few times. Monkey D. Luffy has had to deal with this with like swords and stuff coming down, and like the cat claw guy like coming down on his feet. He'll grab up onto like the top deck with his arms and pull himself up, and once he gets up there, he'll throw a Gallic punch,
which is
basically, or I guess he would call it like the machine gun punch, where he would just like constant punches coming down.
All right.
Like crazy, fast, and all over the place.
Keep in mind that Wolverine had got himself up. They would probably be fighting up there, so he's throwing a million punches. I'm guessing Wolverine's doing his own bit of dodging, jumping from mast to mast. Still trying to fight back, so he's cutting off pieces.
Trying at his hands.
Yeah, destroying the mast, bringing him down on the deck of the ship.
Crashing through, or just...
I gotta imagine crashing through because you got the Wolverine and adamantium.
But
it's not gonna go all the way down.
Luffy would catch himself.
Yeah. So you have Luffy, he'd catch himself as Wolverine fell to the lower deck of the ship.
So Luffy would be back on... So Luffy would be on top.
Yeah, he'd have the high ground.
Okay, at which point, I would imagine Luffy's probably gonna start taunting, because that's what he does when he has the upper hand. Because right now he's got Wolverine basically down in the bottom. Wolverine can't just jump up, so Luffy's like, I got this.
So, given it's the bows of the ship, they need to keep their gunpowder down there, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I gotta imagine he threatens him in some way. Maybe come down or light us up, bub. Does he come down?
Luffy,
or given his anger, he might just ignite it, bring in Luffy down regardless, because he's gonna try and extinguish that, right?
Well, okay, so this would be Luffy's thought process is very like childish. If let's say Wolverine lights it, the first thing
let's say that's what happened.
Okay,
he lit it.
So Wolverine, out of anger, lights a few lights gunpowder and shit to like blow up it kind of thing. Luffy's first thought process is going to be punch a hole in the ship so the water can put it out. Even though he can't swim, his first thought process is water puts fire out. Let's get water. So he would swing a punch. He would like wind up his punch like the old classic Luffy punch. He'd wind it all the way back, start twisting, and then bam, right through the ball.
And Luffy just at this point probably kind of staring at each other, but I gotta imagine Wolverine's like, oh god, and starts trying to climb up because he's gonna try and go for a boat.
Yeah, and Luffy at this point, he's probably like sitting there like, what's wrong? What's going on? Because he's fucking clueless.
Yeah. So Wolverine just get on the lifeboat. Luffy.
Yeah.
Sees this, uses his stretching powers, comes on the boat.
Okay. So
they continue their battle there, they land in the water. It would be the logical answer, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they're both sinking down. I imagine Wolverine's still trying to fight. Luffy's doing this since he can't really move. I imagine he's eventually getting hurt.
Yeah, and the only thing I can say to like, because they're both gonna end up dying in this.
Not necessarily.
The only thing I can think of is, okay, so Luffy has captured them on like his on his or or which universe are we in?
I would say Luffy's.
Luffy's?
Because, we're dealing with the situation where they captured him.
Yeah. So, we would probably assume somebody like Wolverine would be at least near, like, the Red Line or something.
Yeah.
Which is just an area in the show.
Yeah.
So, the only thing that I could say would be one of the, like, god animal thingies on the Red Line, like the whale or something, just like decides, like, oh my god, that's Luffy. It helped me out.
I think for fairness of this, we can start bringing in the other creatures.
Yeah, but at this point, Luffy's basically dead.
Yeah,
unless he's got somebody to help him out.
Yeah, I gotta imagine he's thinking if Wolverine doesn't manage to attack him, he dies before Wolverine, because Wolverine, essentially, you get him out of water, he'll start breathing.
Well, that's the same with Luffy, though. But it would have to be somebody would have to drag him out.
Yeah.
Which, if we're in the middle of, like, the ocean.
Well, I don't think with Wolverine you would necessarily need that, because he's getting his lung. He'd keep regenerating his lung tissue. He could essentially, die a little, get up, walk out. Eventually.
Like, but before something eats him, though.
Yeah, well, even if he's eaten, he can still claw his way out. And even if he's eaten, that's probably a better thing for him. Because
wait. So what kills him?
What kills Wolverine? I don't know, honestly. I've never seen him die.
So then we're talking about a god power here.
Ish? You know what? No.
A character that cannot die.
No, he's gotta have died. I gotta imagine. Alright, oh yeah, he's died in the comics through old age. Well,
I thought we were leaving god powers out.
You know what? Keeping it fair, let's say ultimately Wolverine wins, but he drowns.
Okay, so they both lose.
Yeah, they both eventually lose, but
Wolverine
Luffy would win. Luffy would lose just by a little more, either by being chopped or drowning first.
Yeah, either getting chopped in the ocean or just drowning first, and then Wolverine later drowning or getting eaten by something big.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. If he's eaten by something big, it would have to be. He can't be eaten by a shark, because the shark would bite into him and just the adamantium would stop anything.
Yeah, no. I'm talking like some of these creatures in the Red Line, like they would just like we're talking 1,000 times bigger than a blue whale, and this thing would the acids would probably eat up adamantium.
All right, there we go. We decided. There it is. Our first superhero battle starts out in a boat. Them singing down. One drowns before the other. They're both eaten.
Perfect.
That was a fun, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Do you still want to do Frank's random thought? We got a couple of minutes.
All
right.
Yeah, sure. If you've got a thought.
Let's see. Random thought. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this tonight. So, let's say you could have any horror monster as your friend.
Any horror monster as my friend.
Yeah.
Like what? Like horror, as in like not a scary friend. Like it has to be from a horror movie.
Yeah,
or
it's a horror. It's a horror movie monster. So we're getting rid of the slashers.
Okay.
So they have to be paranormal. They have to be paranormal in existence. So I don't really count Jason, because he's he's more of a
as a friend, not as an acquaintance. Like they're gonna be my bud.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna like turn on me and kill me.
Well,
horror movie, it just can't be like a horror style character, because
example.
like technically speaking, Monsters Incorporated.
Oh yeah. No.
Their whole premises being the monsters under the bed.
It's got to be considered an actual horror.
Okay.
And should we limit it to villains, or do you want to just write like anyone in a horror?
As they're a monster, I'd say that's fine.
All right.
Oh boy. It doesn't have to be real life. Can it be?
Let's keep it live action. Otherwise, we're gonna open ourselves way too big.
Yeah, that's true.
As any man knows opening way too big is just not as rewarding.
Okay, so for me, and this has to be movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, movies. Okay, I'm just like, because I'm going through games and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Because it's live action. Because this is. Can I know one that I want to use, but I don't know if it counts as.
Alright, well, present the case and we'll decide if it counts.
Okay, so Death Note live action.
No, it's not really a horror.
Yeah, but like Ryuk, like he's
not a horror though. He's a fantastic guy, but it's not a horror.
Okay. Then in that case, I'd probably go with Kruger.
Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
I gotta admit it'd be fun to hang out with that guy.
Yeah, like it's just like his hat, his style.
Wait. Now which Krueger? You know, you got the real serious. You know, I'm getting revenge for you guys killing me.
No.
Or are you going with the more comical Krueger that started getting around the 56, where he's like, welcome to television, bitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I would imagine that we'd be like, you know, hanging out playing a game.
I got mine, and it is a horror. It's still kind of, but a lot of people don't consider Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
Brain.
Oh no.
The Robert Goulet gremlin who was just like, is everybody here? There it is. This city's so nice they named it twice. Check it out one time. Well, that guy got even if he destroys everything, it'd just be so much fun to hang out with the guy who could talk like that.
Yeah, I think that I would never be able to take him seriously. If you need to take.
Hello, Riley. Good to see you. Start spreading the news. Shut up. Been singing for the last 10 days. It's not funny anymore. How about just eat your face? Start spreading the news.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you won't let me have Ryuk, then I guess I have to go with Kruger.
All right.
But yeah, definitely it'd have to be the comical, because he just seems like he'd have so many good one-liners, and plus, I mean, like,
do you think he'll let you watch? Like he has his own, like what call it? I think it's Their Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy's Dead. He has that little video game one where he's playing the video game as a guy's.
Oh yeah.
I think he'd just be like, all right, well you can watch me do this, and you'd be watching TV and he'd be on it just trying to kill him while you're watching and just going, look, I understand he's actually trying to kill that guy, but this is so funny.
Yeah. I would hope let me. I would ask him.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's some random dude's gonna die. I want to see it. It looks fun.
And you know you're gonna get it.
Exactly.
Like in that one, when he killed that guy with the hearing aid, it absolutely gets me every time because he takes out this little like chalkboard and he's like, oh,
yeah.
And he like the face makes it just hilarious as he stretches it both times. He's like, and then he puts his claws and he's like starts rubbing it, and he's getting all he's getting kind of like sexualizing it. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy's like, ah! Like, that kind of stuff is just, that's what made Freddy. Like, I love the original Freddy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the very serious kind of Freddy, that's cool. But that later stuff, that's when you just love the character.
Yeah, it started out as like, wow, this is very dying, like seriously, and then it's just
got
like
a little homoerotic.
Yeah.
With Freddy 2, and
then we started kind of going into the funnies. Like, let's make it funny.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think 3 was, he was still kind of a psychopath.
Yeah.
4 is when they introduced the one-liners. 5 is when they really started bringing him up, and then 6 is when it was basically a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
And then New Nightmare, they're like, nope, we're going back to the original. It made him kind of creep and made him freaky again. And then you had the remake where Jackie Earl Haley did a fantastic job, but the rest of the movie just kind of let him down.
Yeah.
All right, so there it is. What is your answer in terms of like a horror friend? Also, how disagree with our Wolverine versus
Luffy
battle? Let us know. Below the video on our Facebook at the Screaming. This is www.facebook.com/screamingbrain.com, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Either way, I'll have the link up.
Awesome.
And then I'll have link up for now for the guys I hang out with, Piggy Show.
So you got plenty of places to get a hold of us. Let us know what you think. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, comment,
Yeah,
like, share with your friends.
all that shit.
Yeah, everything you've heard before. All right, so till next time. This is Frank, the Screaming Brain,
And this is Riley Lucro
saying have a good week.